welcome me back. Let's talk some NBA. We talked about it in the big story. Kurt Helin is here. Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com is his jam. He was out at the Lakers T-Wolves game last night. I'd imagine a few people were talking about the Bam Adebayo 83-point game, Kurt.
More than a few. I will say it was kind of the weird scene. It was weird being in Kobe's building.
Oh, yeah.
Watching that go down on even out, like I'm watching guys warm up. Like I'm out, talking. That's where a lot of pregame schmoozing happens, right? Like that's where scouts are sitting and coaches from other teams. Everybody's kind of out there talking to each other. Except this game, everybody's literally on their phone watching Bam put up crazy points. And I ended up going back and like trying to get the thing up on my computer so I could see a better version of it. It was wild, the vibe in there during that.
I can only imagine. All right, let's dig into it. 83 points, a phenomenal, achievement. It's the second most points ever scored by a single player in an NBA game, but it didn't take long for the vultures to, basically descend on the carcass here and start digging into how this happened. The way I have described it is it was manufactured in many ways. I've heard you use the term unethical. Sam used that term.
Unethical was a term some of the media and Kobe people in the Laker organization, around the game we're using. I'm with you. I think it was sort of manufactured. And I will look, two things. Well, three things. First off, that was just fun. Like I completely enjoyed watching that happen. And him going after the points. Second, hey, Laker Kobe people, if you want to say that about Bam, then I'm sure you're not a hypocrite. I'm sure you were very mad at Kobe's last game when they were just feeding him the rock and he put up 50 points, 50 shots to get his 60 points, and it was not about winning. It was about feeding Kobe. I'm sure you were ethically opposed to that as well.
But they did win the game, by the way. The Lakers beat the Jazz that. It was the Lakers Jazz that night, wasn't it?
And Miami won like that. I mean, that was part of it. Like, if it had not been for the record, Bam wouldn't have played.
But fouling,
he had the record after 3 quarters. He could have sat that.
The Heat fouling people to get him more possessions. Yeah. I mean, it's just not a great look all around, And Eric Spoelstra, who's, a student of the game and somebody who you think really respects the game. I think of Greg Popovich when I say that. I'm surprised he let it go that far.
I think that they were in the moment. They were chasing it. And again, I thought it was fun. Like, I actually had more fun watching that than I've had watching a lot of games most games this season. It was different. It was, I think, to use JJ Redick's comment post-game, it was a different kind of basketball. Was how he put it. But I thoroughly enjoyed the experience of it. It was a little manufactured, but you're either in or you're not, and I was in.
Sam, jump in.
Kurt, I was talking to, obviously, me being a Wizards fan, tons of people were coming to me talking about this game last night in the middle of the craziest sports night of all time.
Right.
And my response was, thank God Bam scored 83 points. If he didn't, the Heat might not have won that game. Do you see how they looked? My question for you is, in a day and age of the NBA where tanking has become ever prevalent, more and more every year, but especially in a year like this where the draft is so loaded, do you think that that's going to lead to more records being broken because of guys playing tanking teams?
It's a great question.
It's a great question. I don't know that we're going to see a lot of this, mostly because either in those moments, hey, we're playing the Wizards or the Jazz or whomever, Sacramento. We're going to sit our star tonight. Like, we can win this game without them. There's going to be some of that, or trying to get them rest, have them play, 3 quarters and get them out. I think what is challenging is that this is it leads to some really bad basketball nights. Because if you have it's not even bad team versus bad team that's hard to watch, because the players that are going out are trying, right? Like, you don't throw out guys and tell them not to try. You just put out a team that can't win. It's a front office move. Well, that's pretty boring. If the Miami Heat or the Lakers or the Knicks, or, name your team that's trying to win games, is playing a team that's tanking, and that's a lot of games right now, it's unwatchable. Like, there's been a couple of upsets, and we're all kind of like, whoa, where'd that come from? But, Brooklyn had one last week. There's a couple of those, but most of that stuff is just unwatchable, which is kind of a bigger issue for the league. They're like, their product is becoming, chunks of their product are just like, I'm not tuning in, and I get paid to tune in.
So I guess that's kind of my question then. What does the league do when you're having an unwatchable product, right? A good team versus a tanking team. And within that unwatchable product, you're having records that sow the fabric of the history of this league being broken.
I don't think you're going to see the league. I don't know what they can do. Like, again, Adam Silver talked last week about at Sloan, at the MIT Sloan, analytics conference. And he's like, we're going to make substantial changes. And then he went on to say, all right, we're going to do incremental changes. like it's going to be, I'm an incrementalist. So I don't think you're going to see big moves in the offseason. And I don't know what they can do this season other than try to celebrate moments like this. It's not like they're going to say, hey, Bam, that record doesn't count. I mean,
right.
Wilt's 100, by the way, go read about it. It is completely manufactured in the same way they did the Bam thing. That was out of the same playbook.
Hey, but before we got a minute left in this segment, is there a player in the league today that you could ever see, if there was a guy that you could see scoring 100 in a game? Who is it? Who would have the ego to go after that and have the skills? Like, part of it's somebody got to, like, Edwards. Ant might do it. I'm trying, like, because I don't think Luka.
Shea would go after it that way.
I think Luka has the ego.
Luka's a good call. Like, who's got the not only you got to have the skill and have the hot night. And look, Bam had 31 in the first quarter. He was 10 off his personal best in the first quarter. He was just hot. He was just having one of those nights, man. If you got Luka, or I'm trying to think of who else can put up those kind of numbers for a night and just not care and just go full ham.
Yeah, I think Ant-Man is one.
I'm probably forgetting somebody, because I could see somebody. I'm trying to think of the Cam Thomases of the world who would just do it.
Yeah.
Because
LaMelo Ball.
Oh, Jesus. Oh. We're coming back. More Kurt Helin. On that note, we're coming back. All right, we're back. I'm trying to convince Kurt Helin of Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com. I'm trying to buy his vote for Con Kneppel for Rookie of the Year. Since I have a zillion Con Kneppel rookie cards, I'm like, you're voting for Con Kneppel. I love that. Hey, Kurt, I love that house of yours in Long Beach. It'd be a shame if anything happened to it.
I cannot be bought for what you can afford, Jason, is all I'm going to say.
Can I interest you in a Con Kneppel rookie card?
I will say, I will say this on here. I said it off air with you. Right now, he's on top of my board. He's
all right.
He's playing in meaningful games and playing well, and Cooper's hit the rookie wall or whatever, in a rough situation where they're tanking in Dallas. So right now, Con be my leader.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Let's keep it that way. Look, you cannot throw Jaylen Brown out of this game last night if you're the officials, especially when you're the official that's standing 30 feet away from where Jaylen Brown's talking to the official about and we can sit here and argue whether it's the right call, the wrong call. This is your game on NBC. Like, guys have to exercise a little bit of discretion here. I'm pumped up to watch the Celtics and the Spurs, and they toss Jaylen Brown? Come on, Kurt.
It seemed a little soft and quick to me, and I've only seen the replays again. I was at the other game. I didn't, and was locked in on Bam, so I actually didn't see a ton of the Celtics game, but it was, from what I've seen, that seemed soft. Like, it just seemed kind of quick. And you're right. I think in big games with star players, I I can get why you're frustrated with Luka or a host of other guys who complain constantly. Like, I get it, but in a big game with a star player, I mean, yeah, the rules should be different. It's just the way it is.
Kurt, elsewhere in the East, we got the news maybe at the beginning of this week, maybe it was last week, that Tyrese Maxey's got this finger injury, I guess. He's going to be down for a while. Obviously, the Sixers have fallen pretty far. They're in, the 8th seed right now? They're like just barely hanging on. How far can they fall without Tyrese Maxey? I know we talked about how good VJ Edgecombe is, but not having Maxey, how far can they fall? And, what is their answer this offseason?
I will tell you, the first part's easy. They can fall to the 10 seed really easy. And remember, the difference between 8 and 10 is it's much harder to get out of the playoffs if you're 9 or 10.
Yeah.
You've got to win 2 games to get out. They're the 8th seed. The 2 teams behind them are Charlotte, who's hot and playing well and focused, and they're only, I think a game back? Yeah, I'd have to look. 2.5 back is Atlanta. Or not Atlanta. Is it Atlanta 10?
Flip them. Atlanta's a game back. Charlotte's 2.5.
Atlanta's won 7 in a row.
Yep.
So, the teams are coming hard behind them. And by the way, the other team that impacts, Milwaukee, who's trying to, Giannis comes back, they're trying to climb into this thing, and good luck. You got to catch these teams that I don't think you can catch. So I'm curious how long before Giannis gets the plug pulled on him, but that's a Giannis call. He gets to make that call, not the team. Philadelphia could fall really far, and then the offseason, that's a really good question, because the reality is they know they need to start flipping this thing around to the new timeline with Edgecombe and Maxey and a young core of nice players. And I would argue, and I've had this conversation with people, Embiid might be the most untradeable contract in the league right now. It is so big and so long. And he's great when he plays. Don't get me wrong. In fact, he's probably the first, he'll be back before Maxey or, Paul George comes off suspension probably. But you would have to attach picks to that contract to get a team to take it right now.
I'm going to tell you, though, if they do come through the play-in or whatever it is, if I'm Detroit, I do not want to see Philadelphia. No. If you have George, Maxey, Edgecombe, Embiid, I do not want to see that in my 1-8 matchup if I'm the Detroit Pistons.
How many times this season have they had Paul George, VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid on the floor?
But they might. That's the only time they need them.
It's a limit. I want to say 4 or 5 games. It's a really limited number. It's kind of crazy how small it is. But when they're mostly healthy, they've had some big wins. There's the core of a good team in there. They just can't keep everybody on the floor.
How many times have the Lakers
healthy somehow?
But how many times have the Lakers had LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves on the court together this year?
I've watched the Lakers beat up on your Knicks and now beat the Timberwolves 2 straight games without LeBron. And I'm not saying the Lakers are better without LeBron.
Yeah, you're not the first person to make this argument. I know.
They're much closer to the team they need to be around Luka when you play. Those 2 wins. Yes, Marcus Smart and Rui played well on the wing and all that. They got engaged DeAndre Ayton. Go ahead and bet on that continuing all you would like. But that said, when they put the whole thing together, that's another team where they're 4th in the West right now.
Hey, I got a minute left. Spurs have won 16 of 17. Are they going to win the West or not?
No, I still like Oklahoma City. But that's a really good series. Oklahoma City made its point this week. They beat Boston. No Caruso, no J-Dub, no Hartenstein, no Chet in that game. They're still the best team. They still have they not only have the best player and the future, the MVP in Shea. Is it time we start talking about Shea as just the best player walking the face of the earth? Is he better than Jokic right now?
No. I don't think so. I think it's close. I think it's a conversation, but it's close. I know Sam would say Jokic.
I would say Jokic, but I do think it is a conversation for maybe the first time ever.
Yeah, Shea's a better defender. It's a conversation.
We'll hash this out in the extended conversation. But I want to continue that for a second because I know Sam just the other day when first of all, by the way, if you're Adelman, what are you doing playing SGA man? What are you leave? How are you leave after he just burned you the play before, Kurt? If Adelman should have been fired right there on the spot. How could you leave him one-on-one, back-to-back possessions, and he beats you both times? How do you do that?
They went into that whole game with kind of you've got to beat us with the step back. We don't,
And he did.
And he did. And so I think part of that was, I don't know. They've got to come up with something different for what, let's be honest, I'm still hoping for a playoff series between those teams. What becomes interesting is Denver's now 6th. I thought they'd be 1-2 and on opposite sides of the bracket. The chance that they land on the other side of the bracket and they don't get this, it's not Spurs Denver in the second round. It's Denver OKC in the second round. That makes that helps your Spurs cause, right? Like whoever's got to play Denver in the second round just got a much tougher second round opponent than if they got to play Houston or the Lakers or whoever you think is the Minnesota, whoever you think is the next best team.
I feel like Minnesota is more dangerous than Houston.
I don't believe in Houston. Just
how could you? They can't. They can't guard anybody.
They've got good defenders. I think they can get that end better. But here's my big issue: they're bad in the clutch. They're genuinely, which is a weird thing to say for a Kevin Durant team. And Durant's still Durant, but they miss Fred VanVleet something fierce. Somebody just to floor general them in the key minutes, and it shows. So I don't trust them in the playoffs. I think Minnesota's really dangerous. But they've got to. I can't take I saw them last night. I'm like, they didn't look great, but that was one of those nights where Anthony Edwards was clanking shots he normally makes. It's a different game if he's not. Their whole team was just. Was it Pat Riley or Phil Jackson used to have a theory that there's 8 games in a season where you're just red hot and can't lose, and there's 8 games in a season where you just can't make a basket and you're going to lose, and you got to kind of throw those 16 out. That was one of those 8. Minnesota just was bad. Lakers played better, much better defense. They've looked better without LeBron, frankly, the last couple of games. But that was also just Minnesota missing shots.
The whole LeBron thing. I've seen a few people chiming in with that right now, though. The idea that they look better.
Again, I don't think they're better without him, but I think they're closer to the team they need to be around Luka, because now you've got Rui and Smart as wings, kind of two-way wings. You got an active DeAndre Ayton the last couple games. Again, that's not going to. I don't expect it to be consistent. But when that whole thing clicks, you can see what the vision for playing around Luka with Austin is. They've just got to go get guys who can do it better and more consistently.
Do you think LeBron's self-aware enough to watch that from the sidelines and notice what people are saying? Not pay attention to what people are saying, but is LeBron's aware enough to look at this and go, I think he shit, they're better without me?
And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when he does return and how he tries to use a LeBron term, is he trying to fit in or fit out? Right? Is he it's part of the challenge is that this guy scored more points than Redick talked about it after the game. LeBron scored more points than anybody in human history. He's been it for 23 years. And until this year, he's pretty much always had the ball in his hands. And the adjustment period with him and Reeves, who's a better offensive player right now than LeBron, and LeBron, it's not natural yet. It gets clunky really fast. Plus, LeBron's not the defender he used to be.
No, he's not.
Do you think that there's
that happens when you get to 65, though?
Do you think that there's a change, or has there been at all in the last couple of weeks in what LeBron may do after this season? I'm not saying stay with the Lakers. I'm saying, is there a better chance now that he retires than goes back to Cleveland?
That's a good question. And I look, there's only one person who would be able to answer that. And I genuinely don't know that LeBron has that answer. I genuinely believe him when he says he doesn't know. Okay. I think he has a lean. He's playing it this way, but I still would bet Cleveland Probably Cleveland. I mean, we throw this in there. The Warriors are not out of the question. If you want to do a tour.
Run it back. Let's just keep running it back with older and older players.
Yeah, look, I'm just saying it's not completely
the
off
YMCA
the
team. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's not. Hey,
holy shit.
Sam, you want to have some fun? You know, the Knicks would be a great fit. Just want to see what Jason.
They would. No, you're exactly right. They would. And there are Knicks fans around here who are gaudy at that idea.
Yeah.
Is it the Celtics in the East now that you've seen Tatum?
I'm beginning to think so. Yeah, like
I do too.
That looks like the team. I mean, frankly, they were in the mix before, and Tatum looks good. Like he
does,
and not just like he's knocking down some shots. And
yeah,
like he's moving well.
Yep.
And they have so far when Jaylen Brown's not getting thrown out of games, they have struck a balance between what they need to do and all that. Yeah, they look like the best team in the East, and hey, I'm good with that. I love Boston in the spring. Too many tourists, but aside that, I just want to go to lunch, man. I don't want to deal with your family of 12 walking the Freedom Trail, dude.
You're hooked on the Freedom Trail. You mentioned the Freedom Trail last week too on the show. What is it with you? What is it with you and the Freedom Trail?
I stay downtown, and you just run into like, oh, dude, stop.
Hold on, I gotta grab a prop real quick here. Hold on.
Oh gosh.
Uh-oh.
Place your bets on what he's going to get.
It's just Con Knipple cards.
That's probably exactly what it is. It's 5 to 10 Con Knipple cards that he pulled from 8 different boxes.
Are those baseballs behind you, Sam? All the home runs that the USA gave up to Italy last night?
I wish that would be. I said on the show yesterday, Jason and I were talking about it. I thought they were going to lose that game. I actually bet on Italy to win that game.
Did you really?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. It was. DeRosa. It's such a DeRosa, the manager, Mark DeRosa, who is a TV guy. He's a host on MLB Network. Said on MLB Network yesterday that he thought they had already made the knockout round. He didn't understand how the math worked. So he thought they were already in the knockout round and threw out some bullshit lineup, and they got hosed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
By the way, we need your vote. We need your vote.
We have a winner.
There you go. We need your vote. Okay, Con Knepple. We need your vote. This baby's already worth like $35. He wins Rookie of the Year, it goes up by like 3 times that amount. So we need Kurt Helin. Can I interest you in a Con Knepple? There you go.
Yeah. There are awards every year that I sweat when you do them. Like, there's always stuff where you're like, the easy one is like 3rd team All-NBA will keep me up nights because the difference between the 14th and 15th best player and 16th and 17th best player is eye of the beholder, splitting hairs, however you want to define it. But I don't think Rookie of the Year is going to be that way this year. It feels pretty settled.
Let's go.
We'll see.
Can I actually ask you about 2 awards races, Kurt, that I was talking about with other people this week? The most improved player and the coach of the year. It's between Bickerstaff and Missoula for coach of the year, and then Duran and Jalen Johnson for for most improved. Do you have a specific inclination either way?
I will be honest with you. Most improved is one I tend to wait. I haven't really done a deep dive on that. Right now I'm doing if I'm going to plug something on your extended YouTube channel, I'm working on a first mock draft for the lottery. Like, I've kind of had to go that route this week. 6-man is kind of six-man. Most improved is kind of its own thing. By the way, I would throw Denny Avdia off the top of my head really in that mix as a guy I'm going to consider. Because what I want to see personally, and I have a whole separate spreadsheet for this, it's not that I want to see improvement. I want to see, let's put it this way. I don't want it to be just opportunity. I don't want to be, hey, this was a good player and he went from getting the ball, X number of times to 3X. And so he looks better. I mean, there's something to being able to maintain through that, but I want to see genuine improvement. And so I'm not sure where I fall on that one, that race yet. Duran, though, would be one of the first names to pop into my head. And Jalen thing is, Jalen Johnson was really good till he got injured last year. So I'm not like he was playing at an all-star level.
Interesting.
By the way, it should be
Duran's definitely on my list. Coach of the year.
It should be Missoula. I don't know how.
And that's one where I talk to more people, to be honest with you, because there's not stats per se.
Right.
And I think I need to talk to people on that one, because what we see from a coach and what actually happens in the locker room and what scouts see in X's and O's is just different. Like, I need smarter people than I to help break that down. But starting to do that, I would say Missoula, Bickerstaff, Ott would be my order right now.
By the way, we call it the NBA Weekly podcast, the extended run of this. So Kurt Helin, Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com. Always appreciate you, my friend. And again, a little subliminal messaging here.
First off, we got to teach you what the word subliminal means, because I don't think that was
if I do it like this.
If you've got to flash the card in between the popcorn in between the movie slices.
Always appreciate you, my friend. Have a great week.
Take care, man.